What's going on, lasagnas? It's DylanLasagna here, and welcome to my Raw reaction for the, what is it? The June 27th episode? 2016? I thought it was, no, it's not June 27th. Oh, wow, I'm a week ahead. It's the June 20th episode of Monday Night Raw. Excuse me for my miscommunication right there. It's the June 20th episode of Monday Night Raw, and it is the follow-up episode to Money in the Bank, and what was a pretty good episode. They didn't throw this one away. They wanted to address everything right out of the bat. So here we go. Dean Ambrose comes out as your new WWE champion, but he almost forgot the belt. He comes out of the taxi, got all of this stuff, gives the cabbie driver a tip. But then the cabbie driver's about to leave. It's like Dean Ambrose is like, oh shit, I forgot something. And then Dean Ambrose got that belt back like a badass. And then here comes Dean Ambrose. Everyone's chanting him with, "You deserved it." And he absolutely deserved it. But Dean Ambrose implicitly shows that he does deserves it, but the fans deserve it more. Because he talks about how for 2 years he's been working his ass off to get that title. How he's been scratching and clawing. And how he picked the perfect opportunity to cash in that Money in the Bank contract. Especially on Seth Rollins. And this brings out the former champion Roman Reigns. And he's pretty pissed off too, because the fans are booing. Not only are the fans booing him, he even goes off script and say, hey, you grown ass man, sit your butts down, take a sip of your beer, maybe you'll get drunk later, and then shut the fuck up. This guy is your champ. Let him speak. Let me speak. Let the big boy speak. And let all you kiddies drinking your beers shut the fuck up. Anyway, Roman Reigns is out there congratulating his friend Dean Ambrose on winning the WWE Championship. And he goes on to ask, how's it feel like cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase? Dean Ambrose goes on to say, hey, I would have cashed it in on you too. Well, yeah, Dean Ambrose obviously foreshadowed that on last week's episode of Raw when he teased that if he won that Money in the Bank ladder match, he would have cashed in on either Seth or Roman. And then Roman goes on to ask, sorry, there's only one way to get to that title, and that's through you. So, and I do have a rematch. And this brings out Seth Rollins. He comes out pacing through the ramp. And he's saying, no. I was robbed last night. That title was stolen from me. I properly won that title. I deserve that rematch more than you do, Roman. And that title is mine. Mine, dang it. And then Roman's like, if that title is yours, then why is it on Dean's shoulder? And he cashed it in on you. And so how does that feel? And then Seth goes on to say, at least when I cash it in, I did it to your face. But didn't Dean do it to your face too when he cashed it in on you, Seth? So that's a little bit of payback, isn't it? Anyway, this brings out Shane McMahon dancing. And he goes on to announce that tonight there will be a #1 contenders match to see who will face Dean Ambrose at Battleground. At Battleground for the WWE Championship. And it'll be Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins fighting for that rematch against Dean Ambrose. And yeah. So we get to the main event. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. It was a little bit better than No, not really as good as... I don't know. I kind of feel like it still wasn't as good as their match at Money in the Bank. But then it did a little bit better. But anyway, not trying to be too nitpicky, the match ends on a double count out, as kind of predicted, but I didn't want it to end that way. Anyway, I thought they were going to have... The match ends in a double count out. Here comes Shane McMahon, dancing and dancing again. He says, "Nah, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to have you two fight again at Battleground in a #1 contenders match again." And then Dean goes into the ring like, "Shane, how about we do this? I'll fight him, Seth, and I'll fight Roman at the same time at Battleground." And Shane's like, "Okay, we'll do what you want. We'll have all 3 members of the Shield fight for the WWE title at Battleground." And I'm like, what? Is this really happening at Battleground? Why? Why? Why didn't... Okay, I understand one thing, that the WWE wants, like, people to subscribe to the WWE Network, but why waste such a good WrestleMania quality, like, or a WrestleMania dream match, as they like to say these days, on a not so, like, bold stage like Battleground? Why not wait until SummerSlam, where on their second biggest stage of the year, where they can, like, all battle it out, and then they can have, like, at Battleground, they can have, like, a #1 contenders match again, and then Dean Ambrose defend the title against someone like, I don't know, maybe, yeah, maybe that's why they couldn't find someone to defend the title against. That's why the Shield troubled that. But yeah, I just don't think they should have done it that early. But I guess it's happening now, and maybe it'll end some controversy that'll extend it through SummerSlam. But anyway, the segment ends with Roman Reigns trying to confront Dean Ambrose. He's like, "Hey, what the fuck?" But then Dean Ambrose hits him with dirty deeds. And then as Dean walks away, Seth is laughing at him. He's like, "Hey, sucker, you got hit with dirty deeds. Now I'm gonna hit you with the pedigree." And hold on, before we continue on, Michael Cole called dirty deeds the pedigree. Dumbass. What are you, Seth Rollins? Like, you're trying to call Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins? You too stupid, Michael Cole. Anyway, Dean Ambrose goes back to hit dirty deeds on Seth Rollins. And that ends the show with Dean Ambrose hoisting his title up high for all the fans out there. I'm starting to love Dean Ambrose as the champ already. He brings such a flavor for the crowd and the title. It's a breath of fresh air. AJ Styles also came out to address the controversy last night at 2 days ago at Money in the Bank, regarding his dream match against John Cena. He's called it tainted because of his Bullet Club buddies, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, interfering in the match when the referee was down. So he wanted Luke Gallows and Anderson to apologize to him publicly. And they go on to say, I'm sorry. And then AJ accepts it, but he wants them to apologize to one more person, and that is John Cena. And John Cena comes out and, as obvious childish as he is, says, You signed a contract. You broke that contract. There are no apologies needed. And John Cena is just, like, being overly ridiculous here and saying, "Oh, they shouldn't have been here in the first place. Oh, of course you need your Bullet Club buddies to be there, like, so you wouldn't get buried by me. You honestly broke the shovel. You have no balls." Anyway, yeah. So AJ Styles decides to make up for it by having a match with John Cena with one of the Bullet Club members. And that Bullet Club member appears to be Carl Anderson. And it basically was just a beatdown on Carl Anderson. And John Cena was about to get the win with the AA until AJ Styles and Luke Gallows saved the day, and Anderson and Gallows hit him with the Magic Killer again. And then AJ Styles hit Cena with the Styles Clash. And then that was the end of the segment. But hopefully they do much better than being childish and saying, "You broke a contract." Paige also got a shot at the Women's Championship against Charlotte after she beat Charlotte last week on Raw. And it was actually a pretty good match, considering Paige hasn't been on Raw in a while now. Yeah, like, we all forgot how good Paige was in the ring. Like, she deserves much more screen time, and like, she needs to be in a feud with somebody, like anybody. Like, I don't know why she's not on Raw lately. But anyway, she put on a pretty good match, and it spanned a little bit over a commercial, so that's pretty good too. And then, of course, we knew that she wasn't going to win, but that's okay. Paige done pretty good. And then she got distracted by Dana Brooke, as predicted, and Charlotte hit natural selection on her ass. 1, 2, 3. Charlotte and Dana Brooke go on the beat down. Paige hit her with a suplex of sorts, and then they go on to pose. And then here comes the boss. It's boss time, as Michael Cole said. Here comes Sasha Banks, and then she hits Dana Brooke with the bullhammer. With the bullhammer on Dana Brooke, and she walks into the ring. She goes after Charlotte, hits her with the backstabber. I don't know if she was trying to go for the bank statement, but then I don't think she was. But she goes on to hold the women's title. She signals her intentions to claim that title, and then she gets attacked by Dana Brooke, and then Paige goes to save her, and then they beat the two faces, beat the big breast down, and then that ends the segment with Sasha and Paige standing tall. My two favorite ladies in the wrestling division right now, Sasha and Paige, standing tall in the same ring. What a nice image. That's so nice. People Power returned to Raw for what turned out to be a one night only segment, and he addressed his opinion on why he should run SmackDown. Because I'm the former executive vice president of talent relations, and the #1 general manager of Raw and SmackDown. And this brings out Shane McMahon, and he's like, "Hey, can we go to the back, please?" But I'm talking to my WWE universe here. And people are getting pissed, and Shane McMahon's getting this close to calling security on John Lauranitis. And John Lauranitis offers something to Shane McMahon. It's like, "Hey, how about we do this? How about, since you're gonna run SmackDown, I'm gonna go over here. Big Johnny over here will run Raw." And I kind of get Shane's point, since they don't want any abusive authority figures on either Raw or SmackDown. They don't want any big Johnnies or authorities. He wants it fair on each show, which is pretty good. And Johnny ends the segment with "People Power," and then he waltzes off stage, runs off stage, which is pretty funny. It was kind of nice to see John Laurinaitis back on Raw. It was kind of funny to see him back. If it was just a one night only thing, that's pretty nice. Titus O'Neil was supposed to have a rematch with Rusev, but then Titus O'Neil got butthurt because of Rusev making fun of his kids the night before on Money in the Bank. So he went on a rampage on Rusev and then attacked him all over ringside, and Rusev ran away like a pussy. But that's what Titus O'Neil needed. He needed a character after all this time. So at this point we kind of found out who he is. At this point, he's a father trying to protect his kids. Father fighting for respect for his children, which is pretty good. I kind of like that. And it put more intrigue and interest in this feud. Like, it makes it more personal. Like, bringing his kids into the feud. Like, how Rusev made fun of it and Titus O'Neil got payback and, like, aggressively attacked Rusev. It was pretty good. Like, a fresh, like, beginning. Like, not really beginning, but a fresh, like, new thing to see out of this feud. So it was a nice thing to see out of that. And I hope to see some really good things out of that feud. And it could be really interesting. And the rematch could be a really great thing. Better than, what was that, Money in the Bank? Oh yeah, the Wyatt family was back on Monday Night Raw. And the crowd was so into them. And the New Day came out to interrupt them. And it was just kind of strange. Like, well, I mean, you have two of the best tag teams, the New Day and the Wyatts, but the Wyatts been gone for so long. And I don't know, it's just like, it seems too serious. Like, the Wyatt family are just too serious for the New Day to feud with, but it seems like a pretty cool feud. Like, like as the weeks go by, like, the Wyatt family will dominate the New Day, and then maybe like on the week before Battleground, the New Day will get the upper hand on the Wyatts. But this should be like, as the weeks pass, like, this should be like a fun feud. The New Day make fun of Eric Rowan's and Braun Strowman's booties, and I think at one point they hypnotize Xavier Woods when they're about to say the WWE World Tag Team Champions part. But then, yeah, I think that was a weird segment, might I add. It's like, and then Bray Wyatt warns them that you just poked the bear. You have been warned. Because New Day falls. New Day falls. Now run. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens fought for how many times? But this was like, a time where they actually, like, meant something. Like, where they fought and it actually meant something. Like, Sami Zayn countered a Pop-Tart powerbomb into a really cool roll-up, and he won the match. But then Kevin Owens attacked him on the ramp, and then they started beating the hell out of each other, and bam, 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 bam. And then, as soon as the commercial break ended, they still continued fighting each other until the referees finally got a hold of them, and it was just amazing. Like, it reminded how much this feud is still going on, like, and how much this rivalry has gotten so personal. Like you got the Money in the Bank ladder match. Those two came up short because of the rivalry. Then you had the IC title match at WrestleMania. That reminded how much those two hated each other. Then that Fatal 4-Way match at Extreme Rules, that reminded how much those two hated each other. And then they came up short in that too. So Battleground should be the deciding factor in who gets the upper hand. And I believe it should be in a very extreme situation, like stipulation. Maybe like a last man standing or like a steel cage match. Who knows? Either one of those, or maybe something not like a standard no disqualification. I'd just be like, eh. Then there were the other stuff that happened on Raw. Enzo and Cass defeated the Vaudevillains, but Enzo did teach something to Shane O'Mac. He taught him the Enzo dance or something, the Enzo shuffle, or whatever it was. And then Enzo roasted Big Johnny right after Johnny cut that People Power promo about SmackDown going live. And then what else happened? Oh yeah, Natalya attacked Becky Lynch because Becky Lynch is being a baby about how she's being betrayed by everybody and how it's a curse and da-da-da-da-da. And Natalya needs to really explain why she really turned on Becky Lynch. It's like, all she said was, it's gonna be about me now. I'm gonna start caring about me. That's kind of like why Ryback turned heel in February. And then, I'm looking at my phone, seeing what else happened. Oh yeah, Baron Corbin defeated Zack Ryder in like a squash match. That was all. overall, I thought Raw was pretty good this week for a post pay-per-view episode. It was like a not really post SummerSlam episode in terms of like crowd, but it's like a post like WrestleMania, post SummerSlam episode in terms of like building up like new feuds and new like pushing more like past like feuds that happened at the pay-per-view and extending them. And they also brought back like superstars like Sasha Banks, and which is good for everyone. But I'm not sure what they're doing with John Cena and AJ Styles, and why they booked the Shield Triple Threat at Battleground. But those are questions that will hopefully get addressed on next week's episode of Raw. So, what did you guys think of Raw? Did you guys like it this week? Did you guys that are very nitpicky on wrestling, well, if you guys are part of the IWC, dislike it, leave them in the comments below, and I'll take some time to read them. And don't forget to drop a like on this video if you enjoy my Raw reactions. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Follow all my social media links in the description below, and always be delicious. I'll see you guys in the next video.